let's talk a little bit about your exam timing schedule. How did you go about scheduling the exams and buying the exams?
Yeah, so I took all of my exams in ARE 4.0. So I think the hardest part is to schedule that first exam. So I really just let myself start studying until I felt comfortable with the material, and then I would schedule my exam about 2 weeks before I was ready to take it. And I scheduled them as I went.
Okay, so you sort of studied first, and then you
Yeah.
scheduled them. All right, good. Anne, how about you?
I did not do anything close to that, which is funny. I I scheduled the exam and forced myself to study
Yeah.
beforehand. So I actually would schedule my next exam, the night before I took the next exam,
Oh, that's awesome.
so that I held myself accountable regardless of if I passed or failed.
Okay, that's great. Ivan, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm sort of similar to Anne. Probably with one exception. I actually scheduled four at once, basically to put extra pressure on myself, and I kind of spaced them out. I don't know. I gave myself like 2 months in between or something, and from that, I was just like, okay, I have to study, keep studying, and kind of knock them out. That was my approach.
All right, beautiful. Jason, how about you? Jason, I've got you muted. How about you? Oh, we might have lost you. I see it says maybe offline. So maybe we lost you there, Jason. If you come back, please. If you come back, please let us know. I'll have Clay maybe give you a call, and we'll try to get you back online here. So in the meantime, let me just talk this through a little bit. So let's see here. Stephanie, you studied first, then you scheduled them. The other folks schedule them first. I guess what's my question here? Stephanie, why did you? I'm going to ask. I'm not just going to pick on you. I'm going to ask these guys a similar question. Why did you study first?
So in the beginning, I felt it was difficult to really figure out what that magic study time was before taking the test, how long it would take to prepare. So studying first kind of gave me the confidence to schedule that test, to know when I was ready. And then once I probably got through my third exam, I knew I could pick up the pace, and then I started testing once a month. So I'd study for 2 weeks, know I was comfortable enough to go ahead and set that test date, study for 2 more weeks, and then go take my exam.
Got it. Anne and Ivan, I don't know. You guys are aggressive. What's going on? You guys just trying to just destroy the exam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my strategy was to just kind of knock them. So I took all my exams in 4.0 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like I wanted to schedule all seven of them at once, but then we had like these huge projects at work, and I was like, okay, I probably won't realistically be able to do them all and like complete all my project work. But what also made it a lot easier was the firm that I was at had like this really cool deal where if you pass, we pay. So that's also a huge incentive. It's like, let's knock out as many of these as possible, all at once.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just a bit naturally aggressive when it comes to academics and exams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I turned 30 and decided by 31 I wanted to be licensed. Or 32
That's
was
so
my
killer.
goal. And 32 was my goal, and I was licensed at 31 and 1 month. So I took an exam every 6 weeks, and I just kept plowing through whether I passed or failed.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am the type of person who will put something off and put something off and put something off until my feet are to the fire, and I have to cough up money to a commitment, and then I will commit. So
Yeah. Hey, Jason, we may have you back. Jason, are you there? Maybe? Oh, I see you still.
Yeah, sorry about that. something happened, I'd kick me off.
No worries, man. So tell me, I'd like to know, talk about your exam timing schedule. How did you schedule the exams for yourself?
It was a combination of the first two methods. I studied first for maybe the first two exams and then would schedule them maybe 2 weeks out when I got comfortable with the material. And then I was a little ambitious and would start scheduling more and more exams, maybe 4 or 5 weeks out from each other. And what I ended up doing, unfortunately, was I would freak myself out, get a little anxious, and reschedule the exams maybe for another week or two. So I was just spending extra money for no reason. So I wouldn't suggest doing that.
Got it. That's great advice. All right, cool. So I think here, for me, this is sort of the takeaway. If you're listening to this, these stories, these 4 different stories, I think what's kind of cool is you have the entire gamut, right, of people kind of, proceeding carefully, studying first, and then scheduling, and then sometimes even rescheduling. And then you have folks who are scheduling all of them at once. So I feel like if, the takeaway here is all 4 of these folks passed. And so if you're thinking about, gee, I could never schedule all of them first, or I would never study for them first. I think the idea is that, a lot of different ways can work. Stephanie and Jason, maybe Jason first. Just remind me, what version of the exam did you take? You probably took ARI 4, I think, right?
Yeah, that's correct. 4.
And then Stephanie, how about you?
I also took 4.0.
4.0. All right, so we have a bunch of 4.0 folks here.